Ever wondered what would happen if someone strolled onto your property, grabbed your stuff, or on a particularly bold day and for no apparent reason, decided to just interfere with your peaceful existence? Welcome to the world of trespass, where personal space is a distant memory and boundaries are mere suggestions. We explore the different flavors of trespass, whether it's someone planting themselves on your land, fiddling with your property, or just generally being in your face. We dive into real-life trespass cases, explore what counts as trespassing, the various types of trespass, and the remedies available when someone crosses that line. Naturally, we will also look at the creative excuses or legal defenses you can use to justify your boundary-hopping antics. Trespass is a civil wrong, aka tort or wrong to a person. It involves the unlawful entry or interference with someone's body or property without their consent. While most trespass cases involve land, trespass can also involve people's bodies, belongings, and buildings. So, in the legal sense, trespass may occur when someone waltzes into places, touches things, or even people, as if they own it all, when in fact they don't. Whether it's someone overstaying their welcome on your property or laying their hands on you, trespass covers a broad spectrum of invasions, none of which come with the owner's permission. Let's take a deeper dive into the different varieties of trespass that keep courtrooms buzzing with activity. First stop, trespass to the person. Trespass to the person involves wrongs done to the person. Like when someone makes unwelcome touches on your body or messes with your personal space bubble. And you know what? Physical harm isn't required. Someone making you feel uncomfortable enough to believe you're about to get a smackdown could land them in legal hot water. The three main categories of trespass to the person are assault, battery, and false imprisonment. Think of them as the unholy trinity of people who just don't understand personal boundaries. Let's start with assault. That's the legal term for scaring someone without even bothering to do anything physical. It's all about making the victim believe they're about to experience something painful and regrettable. Imagine waving a stick at someone menacingly. As long as they think they're about to get whacked, congratulations, you've committed assault. If you've ever been on the receiving end of a menacing hand gesture that made you flinch, you've been in assault territory. In one assault case, a man went on a harassment campaign against some ladies. He would repeatedly make crank phone calls to those women. Just dial, then sit there, say nothing, and just mouth breathe into the phone. These persistent, creepy phone calls naturally caused serious psychological distress to the women in question. The guy was eventually arrested and charged with trespass, and the court declared that those calls qualified as assault. The key here is that the threat must feel real. If, for instance, you're chased by a guy with a stick, but you're speeding off in a car, that's not assault. That's just someone making bad jogging choices. Even more interestingly, words alone don't usually count as assault either. Hurling a string of angry words alone might not cut it as assault. But if you say them while brandishing a menacing object or making threatening gestures, well, that's a different story. Next, let's look at battery. Now, when the trespasser causes that menacing hand to actually land on your face, or any other unfortunate body part, we've entered the realm of battery. Battery is assault's bolder, more physical sibling. Unlike assault, which is basically theatric threats, battery is about making good on that threat. So, while a raised fist is assault, that fist making contact is battery. Simple, right? To illustrate, let's look at the case of a certain Mr. Humphrey, who thought it'd be a fun idea to dunk his buddy's head in the water as they swam. To Humphrey, it was all harmless fun. Well, not so much for the victim, who ended up seriously injured. Humphrey's defense? He didn't mean to hurt anyone. The court declared that his intentions didn't matter. The fact that physical contact was made and harm followed was enough to establish battery. And here's a fun twist. You don't even need to physically touch someone yourself to commit battery. Throwing a rock, spitting, or even flinging a drink at someone counts too. In one infamous case, a guy named Fagan accidentally parked his car on a police officer's foot. Yeah, don't ask. Though he insisted that the initial parking of the car was accidental, Fagan refused to move the car when asked to do so. The court ruled that the failure to move the car constituted battery. Now, let us look at false imprisonment. This is the third form of trespass to the person. It happens when someone unlawfully decides to turn you into their personal hostage. You don't need to be locked in a dungeon. Oh no. False imprisonment can happen when you're held anywhere against your will, even if temporarily. A classic example of this involved a guy named Bird who tried to cross a public road, which had been blocked by police for a race. Bird sued the cops for false imprisonment, claiming they had refused to let him pass through. Disagreeing with Bird, the court ruled that since he could have taken other routes, no imprisonment had occurred. On the flip side, if someone actively blocks your way and there's no realistic escape, you've got yourself a false imprisonment case. Take Walker, who found himself briefly held in a doorway by a police officer. Though the detention didn't last long, the court still ruled it was false imprisonment because the officer had no lawful justification for detaining him and he had no means of escape. Thanks to court, Walker walked away with nominal damages. This has been Laws and Outlaws. If you enjoyed this real-life court drama, please subscribe and join us on our next courtroom adventure. See you there.